Hey guys, this is Zach over at Michelin Arcs Permaculture. What I'm going to first start off with this channel is I'm going to show you guys how to make Supercharged Florida Bum style compost. All the ingredients in here are special and serve its own purpose. I'm here to show you each and every ingredient that I use. It's quite a bit of ingredients, but all the ingredients I have picked up for free or have made in-house myself. When I walk through the ingredients, I'll show you and give you a kind of idea of how I brought those ingredients to life so I'm able to use them in the garden. So stay tuned. This is Supercharged Florida Bum style compost. It's all free or recycled material mixed with all this stuff I'm about to show you now. It's all veggie scraps, coffee grounds. That's another piece of the pie. Let's grab that. These eggshells, that's for the worms. I'll show you guys that later. As far as the material goes, this is what we've got. This is my carbon layer. A whole bunch of big leaves and a whole bunch of grounded up, a whole bunch of mixture of leaves, which is the best. You want a variety. You just don't want, one kind, because they all carry their own pH. So this is how we got our carbon, the first ingredient you'll need. All right, guys, something else you'll need is what's called Bio-Char. Basically, it's wood in which you set at high temperatures in mounds. I kind of do a grid pattern and make like a mound, right? And I'll start the burning process from the top. This has got a hole on the bottom that draws through, and when this gets to temperature that I like, to where it's all black, I'll douse it in water and put it out. Once I put it out, I'm able to harvest it, gather it, I can chip it up. Break it up into a fine, not too fine. I kind of like chunks. That's another piece of the pie. This is another way that you could process your biochar so that you can use it more efficiently in the garden. Our first use of biochar was in chunks like this, and what that's going to help do in our compost bin on the bottom layer is, disperse water away from the inside of our bin, out away from it, so it doesn't, constantly stay saturated with water and, throw off our temperatures. This is another way that you can process it. The other ingredient you will need for this will be already composted stuff. You need good organic compost. And this is what I made months and months and months and months ago at the place where these leaves, were gathered. Before these leaves that I got fell down, what I did was place cardboard, newspaper, leaves, vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, eggshells, all that. And that's what this is. This was months. This was done one time and forgotten. Just left there. What you will also need is Mycorrhiza. This is old potted plants, okay, that I, harvested the herbs and just left in the pots, in a well-watered area. Let it just get saturated and built up with all types of, fungus and algae. That's my homemade Mycorrhiza. And the last ingredient is green material. This is all lawn clippings, garden wastes. Literally what I do is I take and grab lawn clippings and gather for my nitrogen source. What you'll also need is a couple pallets. What we're going to do right here on this small scale farm is we're going to start, that's the property line, we're going to start our first bin right in front of that. And as we gain more material, more and more material, we're going to have multiple bins set up on that privacy fence. The rabbit hutch will be over here. So now that you've got it spaced out enough to where your third panel will mate right up to these flat parts so that you can tie a string around the tops and bottoms of each side. That way you can pull that off and
return your compost, you know, every 3 months, possibly more depending on the temperature. We'll get more into that. Right here, that's how it's going to be set up. As we get more pallets, as we get more material, we're going to set up more and more.
Alright guys, so the first layer is going to be, you know, roughly 3 inches of carbon material. In this case, it's multiple varieties of leaves. Alright guys, so now that we've built up, you know, a nice little layer to start off our foundation compost bin, all you've seen me do so far is layer with 3 inches of carbon, roughly a 1/4 inch of grass, probably an 1/8 sprinkle of Bio-Char, and then I repeated that twice. You guys only seen me do it once, but I did it twice and watered in thoroughly. I left the Bio-Char in chunks, you know, on the bottom layer, just so that I can disperse water, you know, away from my bin and into, you know, and away from my compost, so it doesn't throw off my temperatures. Because I'm not going to have it covered. You know, this is Florida bum style, so it's not going to be covered. It's going to be out in the elements. That's all my materials coming soon. Hugelkultur bed. Back to the compost. So now that I have my bin closed up fully with strings on top and bottom of both sides of the front. So now that my layer is building up and it's been cooking for approximately, if I'm being honest, 2 days. I have not checked the temperature yet because I want to fully stack this as high as I can, which is what we're going to do next. Grass, compost, Mycorrhiza. That Kona just seems to love. Some more carbon as leaves. Powdered Bio-Char this time. And good old Veggie Scraps.
thank you for sticking around and watching this video. If you guys want to know step 2, it'll be coming out here pretty shortly. It's going to be step 2, how to finish compost. So now that we've got roughly 4.5 foot tall compost, or even higher, what we're going to do now is just let this bad boy sit. We're going to let this sit, cook, do its job, heat up. I'm going to throw my thermometer in it probably 2 weeks from now just to see where we're sitting at. I'm going to let this go for 135 degrees for at least, I'm going to let it go for about a week at that, and then I'm going to flip it. You guys stay tuned for step 2 of how to finish compost.